Broadcasting live from the Murdix Veolia Studio Broadcast Center at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we move on to Game 2 in our opening night playoffs triple header, the 4-5 game in the Predators Cup. Pope Prep-CPA-GCA taking on Brentwood. Third meeting of the season between these two teams. First game ended in a tie back on September 28th, way back on September 28th on opening night of the regular season. And then the second meeting saw Brentwood beat Pope 3-0 on November 30th, although you kind of have to discount that because Pope had to use a pool goalie that night in the form of Justin Yanuchili from the Outlaws. So, I don't know. I think this game will be a little more of an even matchup if Pope have both their goalies tonight, especially if they have Anthony Pellegrino. But we'll see how things unfold over the next hour and 20 minutes. So we've got our first two finals in the books in the Predators Cup opener. It was Ravenwood beating Father Ryan 8-1. So Ravenwood will play the NBA Franklin BGA winner next Monday night. And USNBA Nashville Christian in the High Cup opener beat Summit Page 7-2. So they'll play the Outlaws Station Camp winner next Monday night. The winner of this game next Monday on Rink A at Centennial will play the winner of Mount Juliet Green Hill Lebanon against Rutherford Rampage. It's probably going to be Mount Juliet. I would be very surprised if it were anything different. But, yeah, this looks like it might be a pretty even good game between both teams. We'll see how things go. So let's talk about the two teams playing tonight's game. First up, Pope, coached by Justin Clark, the 5 seed in the regular season. They had 7 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties. They finished 4th in the GNASH Cup race. They finished 5th in the Phase 3 portion of the schedule, the portion of the schedule that determined playoff seeds. They had 3 wins, 3 losses, and a tie in Phase 3. And I got to open up the other sheet here, don't I? Yep. My other spreadsheet. All right. Pope's stats over for the rest of the for the whole of the regular season. Let's go over the results of their last 5 games of the regular season coming into tonight. Last 5 games of the regular season dating back to December 5th when they beat Rutherford 10-2. They came out of the holiday break with a 4-2 win over Ravenwood, then lost on January 4th. Then on January 9th, they lost 3-2 to MBA. That's what knocked them out of the GNASH Cup race. A 4-2 win over Father Ryan on January 18th, and then last Monday night, they finished the regular season with a 3-3 tie with Franklin. So here are the full season stats for Pope. Isaac Rice was the team's leading scorer. He had 20 points from 9 goals and 11 assists. Jacob Sullivan had 17 points from 9 goals and 8 assists. Cash Branyan, 16 points from 9 goals and 7 assists. Eric Kilberg, 14 points from 3 goals and 11 assists. Carter Morrison, 9 points from 5 goals and 4 assists. Clay Roach, 6 points from 4 goals and 2 assists. Nick Gentile and Nick Pellegrino each had 4 points from a goal and 3 assists. Nick Hollis, 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Jack Davis, 2 points from goals, and Marshall McMurtry, Ian Sullivan, Owen Gilliam, Cade Siemendorf, and Saxon Clemens each had a point from an assist. On to goalie play. Anthony Pellegrino played in the vast majority. He played in 12 regular season games for Pope. His record's 6-4-2. He played 502 and a quarter minutes, goals against average of 2.34. 2 shutouts. He allowed 28 goals on 275 shots turned away. The other 247. His save percentage in the regular season was .900. Rowan Cass played in 1 game. I'm going to have to go find that. He played in one game, and that was in the first part of the regular season. I'm going to have to go find it here. Here we go. It was the game against Independence on November 7th, Pope's last game of Phase 1. So Pope won that game, so his record was 1-0. Played the full 42 minutes, allowed 2 goals on 15 shots, turned away the other 13. His final save percentage in the regular season was .870. Justin Yanuchili, like I said, played in the game against Brentwood on November 30th, which Pope lost, so his record there was 0-1, allowed 3 goals on 27 shots, turned away the other 24. Save percentage as a pool goalie for Pope was .890. On to Brentwood, coached by Chris Oram, the 4 seed. Went 4-3 in Phase 3 of the regular season. In the GNASH Cup race, they finished 3rd at 9-4-1. Let's look at their last 5 games, the results of their last 5 regular season games coming into tonight. Dating back to December 7th when they beat Rutherford 7-4. Came back from the holiday break January the 11th and lost to Mount Juliet Green Hill Lebanon 9-4. Then they beat Father Ryan 5-2 on January 16th. January 18th, they lost 6-5 to Ravenwood, and then last Monday night closed the regular season with a 4-3 loss to MBA. That knocked them out of the GNASH Cup race. So here are the final regular season stats for the Bruins. Stevie Lipa was the team's leading scorer. He had 26 points from 16 goals and 10 assists. Larson Smith, 22 points from 6 goals and 16 assists. Aiden Pustitzi, 20 points from 10 goals and 10 assists. Luke Olhoffen, 16 points from 4 goals and 12 assists. Dominic Kamsu, 11 points from 2 goals and 9 assists. Kyle Barberite, 10 points from 3 goals and 7 assists. Jack Schultz, 8 points from 5 goals and 3 assists. Ty Essenmacher, 8 points from 3 goals and 5 assists. Callahan Fielder, 7 points from 3 goals and 4 assists. Zane Cesaroni and Lucas Bowman, each with 5 points from 2 goals and 3 assists. Sevi McClure, 4 points from 2 goals and 2 assists. Connor Allen, 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Owen Seeley with a point from a goal. And Graham Engelhart, Griffin Trott, and goaltender Payne Fielder each had a point from an assist. On to goalie play, Payne Fielder played in 8 games. His record was 6-2. He played 335 3/4 minutes. Goals against average of 2.52. 1 shutout. He allowed 20 goals on 151 shots, turned away the other 131. His save percentage in the regular season was .870. And Georgi Khachaturian played in 6 games. His record 3-2-1, played 252 minutes. Goals against average of 4 even. 1 shutout. He allowed 24 goals on 125 shots, turned away the other 101. His save percentage in the regular season was .810. As the warm-up clock is running down to 0. Game that should be getting underway by now over on Rink B at Centennial, the 2-7 game in the Hein Cup. Independence and Nolensville Ensworth Lipscomb. Hopefully the Ensworth Athletics Twitter will provide updates of that. Again, these two teams in the regular season series tied at 3 on September 28th. And then Brentwood won the second meeting 3-0 on November 30th. No surprise that Anthony Pellegrino is starting out in net for Pope. And Georgie Khachaturian going to be in goal for Brentwood. For this first period, Brentwood will carry the puck from my left to right and Pope from my right to left. As this game is underway, Brentwood winning the opening face-off. Jack Schultz, right wing side of the Pope zone in the right wing corner, trying to put the puck in front. Went into the skates of Clay Roach. Puck out in front, a backhander from Callahan Fielder, turned away by Pellegrino, so a close call there for Pope. Not even 20 seconds in, now Clay Roach backhanding the puck into the Brentwood zone, but Dominic Kamsu gets to it, gets it around the boards to the near side. Here's Schultz, having it poked off his stick from behind by Isaac Rice. Now Cash Branyan chasing the puck over to the far side, backhanding it up to the right point. And Carter Morrison, now Morrison chasing it down the wall to the right wing corner. Clearing attempt held in on the right half wall by Branyan. Puck going around the kick plate towards the near side. Dominic Kamsu carrying it. Clears it. Nick Gentile with it at center. Crossing the red line, dumbing it back into the Brentwood zone. Puck over on the far boards. Branyan gives it away to Stevie Lipa. Now here's Kyle Barberite dumping the puck into the Pope end. Aiden Bustisi shooting the right point, stopped and held onto by Pellegrino. So that's the first whistle after 93 seconds of play. Draw is going to be to the left of Pellegrino. Won by Brentwood. Luke O'Hoffen backhanding it over to the right wing boards and Lipa. Pope get a hold of the puck. They're trying to get it out. And they do. Puck sliding back into the Brentwood zone. Khachaturian plays it. Passes to the far side. And Pustitsi gives it over to Owen Seeley. Seeley. Puck kicked away from him. Larson Smith with it now. Putting it back behind the net. Seeley sweeping it around to the near side. Now here's O'Hoffen. Back in the Pope zone. Behind the net. Trying to put it out in front. It's knocked away. Now here's Pustitsi at center. Puck poked away from him nicely by Eric Kilberg. But Lipa able to get it back. And he's got it in the Pope zone, moving down the right wing wall, taking a shot that goes off a stick into the glass behind the net. Puck still in play. Trying to get it in front to Lipa, but it was deflected, and we get a whistle. We're going to have roughing against Eric Kilberg. So Brentwood are going to get the first power play of the game. No goals on the board yet. 11:21 to go in the first. Draw is to the left of Pellegrino. Won by Brentwood, Barberite. Passing over to Cicerone. Back up top, Barberite. Passing to the left wing side, Kamsu. Sent towards the front of the net. Actually deflected by the stick of Callahan Fielder. Stopped and covered up by Pellegrino. He made the save with the left leg pad. Draw is going to be to his right. Draw one by Brentwood. Barberite at the center point. Oh, puck got away from him and slides out to center. It's on the near boards. Battling with Rice. Cicerone brings it back in. Trying to get it over to Schultz, but that's intercepted and cleared by Carter Morrison. Chased down by Kamsu. Kamsu brings it back into the Pope zone. It's knocked away from him. Still in the Pope end. Morrison holding, and he'll clear. It's back in the Brentwood end. Kamsu will track it down. Kamsu. Brings the puck into the Pope zone on the left wing side. He very nicely let it get away from him, slide around Branyan, catch back up to it at center. Here's Barberite backhanding it up to the right point in Olhoffen. Puck went through the air and landed just inside the right wing corner. Under a minute left in the power play now as Pope clear. But Stevie Lipa intercepts it at his own blue line, sends it back into the Pope zone. Olhoffen now right circle. A shot misses the net to the right of Pellegrino. Pustici at the left point. Passing down the wall. Lipa, left circle. Back up top to Pustici. Up, puck got away from him, but he manages to get it back down to Lipa. Lipa whiffs on a wrister attempt inside the left circle. Now Lipa again. Cross-ice pass intercepted and carried to center by Jacob Sullivan. Sullivan back in the Brentwood zone. Dumps it to the inboards. Cash Branyan behind the net. Puts it out in front. Taken by Barberite. Puck is behind the net for Aiden Pustici. Passing ahead to Olhoffen. Penalty time against Pope is up. They're back at even strength as Brentwood go offside. Lipa must have just gone into the zone before Olhoffen did. 9:18 to go in the first end. No goals on the board. Draw is going to be on the dot across from the Pope bench at center in front of the bleachers. Won by Pope. And brought into the Brentwood zone on the right wing side by Jacob Sullivan. Sullivan going to the front of the net, a backhander. I'm not sure if he got, okay, he did force a save from Kachaturian. First shot on goal of the game for Pope. Puck right out front. Oh, Sullivan whiffs on it. Puck held into the blue line and sent back down deep by Nick Pellegrino. Great chance for Pope, but Sullivan whiffed on it. Now he's out in front of the right circle, a backhander. I think it was blocked. No, it was turned away by Kachaturian. One timer on the left point, and Hollis turned away by Kachaturian. Puck out on the far side, Sullivan trying to move inside. He lost it, and Connor Allen sends it on goal, actually. Anthony Pellegrino having to turn it away. So play keeps going. Puck comes out in front of the Pope net now, picked up and swept to the far boards by Coleman Glidewell. Now Ty Essenmacher behind the net trying to flip it out in front, got it knocked down. Lucas Bowman knocked over near the Pope net. Puck cleared out by the Knights. Kyle Barberite dumps the puck back into the Pope zone on the far boards. And it trickles out to center. Glidewell kicking it ahead. Now it's sent back ahead by Brentwood back into the Pope zone on the right wing side. A one-timer from Ty Essenmacher is gloved and held on to by Pellegrino, Anthony Pellegrino. 7:45 left in the first. Still no goals on the board here in the Preds Cup 4-5 game. Draw was to the left of Pellegrino, won by Brentwood. Puck on the inboards, Nick Gentile battling with Jack Schultz, who's now dropped his stick. Jack Davis moving it away from the pile, and a shot from Barberite misses the net to the left of Pellegrino. Schultz, right wing corner. Pushed into the boards by Gentile, still gets the puck out in front. It's intercepted, but it gets away from Glidewell. Here's Kamsu now, carrying it below the goal line, round the back of the net. Trying to backhand it out in front, but didn't get a lot of oomph in that backhanded centering pass attempt. Comes out up top. Barberite, a one-timer, misses the net to the right of Pellegrino. Puck out on the far side. Barberite battling for it, but Pope come up with it, and Coleman Glidewell clears it down ice. He was behind the red line, but icing waved off because you had three Brentwood players up against the far boards who could have played it. Jack Schultz, right wing side of the Pope zone. Pass to the slot, intercepted by Carter Morrison. Schultz, nope, it's Morrison with the puck now, trying to put it behind the net, and it comes back to him, and he's going to carry it out to the far side, flip it through the air and out. Cam Sue inside his own zone, backhands it out. Now the puck's over on the far side, Cam Sue. Ahead to Lipa, who touches it over to Larson Smith. Across to the right wing, and a one-timer from Olhoffen misses the net to the left of Pellegrino. Here's Carter Morrison backhanding it out to center. Pustici with it. Pustici flipping it ahead. It crosses the Pope blue line. Lipa pokes it towards the inboards. Nick Pellegrino gives it away. Puck passed out in front. Bustici having to track it down in the left point. Bustici taking a shot, turned away by Anthony Pellegrino. Puck on the left wing corner. Lipa passing it up to the left point. Aiden Bustici. Bustici a shot. Knocked down by Pellegrino on the rebound. Knocked away from the front of the net. Puck over on the far side. Lipa. Lipa, left circle, poked away. Pope able to clear it out. Puck ends up back in the Pope zone behind the net. Nick Pellegrino passing off to his left. Gives it away. Bustici moving towards the slot. Puts it down in front. A shot stopped by Anthony Pellegrino. Stretched out the left leg pad. Puck out on the far boards. And Pope trying to clear. Held in Bustici at the left point, but he's forced to step out with it. He'll bring it back into the Pope zone. Pope, we're changing his shot. Sticked away by Anthony Pellegrino. Just got the stick handle on it. Puck flipped ahead back into the Brentwood zone. Now it's at the left point. A slap shot from Nick Gentile hit the glove of Georgi Khachaturian. Now a shot in the right half wall, kicked away by Khachaturian. Stuck out that right leg pad and kicked it away. It was Isaac Rice shooting. Ty Essemacher brings it back into the Pope zone. Clay Roach with it now for the Knights. Passing it around to the far wall. It's cleared out. And Dominic Kempsu's going to watch this go for an icing. 4:14 to go in the first, still zip. We just had a 3-minute, 31-second stretch with no whistle. Draw was to the right of Anthony Pellegrino, won by Brentwood. Puck on the left wing corner, Pope with it. And it's cleared out. Kamsu now over to Barberite. Trying to get it back into the Pope zone. It's in the Pope zone, but Jack Davis has it for the Knights. Trying to pass ahead to Jacob Sullivan, who had taken away from Barberite at center. He brings it into the Brentwood zone on the right wing side, but got tied up with Kamsu. Now Nick Pellegrino, right point, a shot turned away by Khachaturian off his left leg pad. Puck cleared out, but Nick Pellegrino has it, drops it back to Nick Hollis. Hollis sends it back into the Brentwood zone. It's in the left wing corner. Kamsu behind the net. Puck comes to the left point, and Hollis passes to the slot, and a shot from Jacob Sullivan in the right circle is over the net. Lucas Bowman with it now. Trying to clear, but it hit the skates of Connor Allen. Stayed in the zone. Jack Davis' shot. Stopped by Khachaturian. Puck out on the far boards. Carried to center by Barberite. Poked off his stick. Essemacher picks it up. Knocked off his stick of the Pope blue line quite nicely by Isaac Rice. Schultz backhanding it ahead. Fielder with a backhanded sweep. Callahan Fielder with a backhanded sweep into the Pope zone. And pass ahead to Cash Branyan. Missed him just behind the red line and goes into the Brentwood end for an icing. 2:37 to go in the first end. No goals on the board yet. And Pope had an extra player come out of the draws to the left of Anthony Pellegrino. To the bench. Draws to the left of Anthony Pellegrino. Won by Pope, but given away to Sebi McClory. Shot in the right point, just misses the net to the right of Anthony Pellegrino. Puck taken by Cash Branyan. Cleared out of the zone by Patrick McCarthy. Aiden Bustici with it inside his own zone. Standing behind the net. Steps out to his left, carries to center, crosses the red line, dumps it into the Pope zone. Puck sent around the boards to the far side, held into the left point, Bustici, but poked away by Branyan. Branyan Brings it into the Brentwood zone. Cross-ice pass. Hops over the stick of McCarthy on the left wing side. Puck sent back into the Pope end. Nick Pellegrino with it. Drops it back to Nick Gentile. Gentile ahead for McCarthy. McCarthy tried to pass ahead, hit the left skate of Larson Smith, went back into the Pope zone. Knights are going to clear it out. Isaac Rice, left wing side of the Brentwood zone. Moving out to the slot. Hands it off, a shot blocked. That was Branyan. Puck in the left circle, Nick Pellegrino. Knocked into the boards. Here's Branyan. Now Pustici behind the net. Stevie Lipa looking for a stretch pass to the Pope blue line. Brentwood dump it back in. Final minute of the first. Stevie Lipa tried to put it in front for Kamsu, but the pass went behind Kamsu and out. Here's Kyle Barberite. Dumping it back into the Pope end. Tracked down by Nick Pellegrino. Passed around to the far side, Clay Roach. Roach. Pass across to Jacob Sullivan, who's chasing into the Brentwood zone. Khachaturian gets there first and sweeps it to the near boards. Risky play from Khachaturian, but he was able to get there first. Roach with a puck now. Passing out to the slot, a shot stopped and covered up by Khachaturian. Not sure who got off that shot for Pope just yet. It wasn't Roach. I think it was Jacob Sullivan. Okay. 26.4 seconds left in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draw is going to be to the left of Khachaturian. Won by Brentwood, but held in at the right point and sent back down the wall by Nick Gentile. Here's Eric Kilberg. Kilberg. Puck gets away from him. Kamsu ahead for Barberite. Sorry, it's Olhoffen. Puck now back in the Pope end, but Gentile with it. He'll pass ahead. Clay Roach bumps into Bowman. Eric Kilberg in the Brentwood zone, but time runs out on the first period. So a good goaltending battle between Khachaturian and Pellegrino, and a good defensive battle between Brentwood and Pope. And they exit the first period with the same score they started in this Preds Cup opening game, Preds Cup opening round game for both teams, 0-0. Will Patrick Sullivan rue that missed chance early in the first when he had the puck all alone in front of the Brentwood net and he whiffed on it? So far, he's not ruining it. As it is still 0-0. Anthony Pellegrino still in goal for Pope Prep-CPA-GCA. Georgie Khachaturian still in goal for Brentwood for this second period. Pope will carry the puck from my left to right. Brentwood from my right to left. Brentwood win the draw to start the second. They get the puck into the Pope zone, tracked down by Nick Pellegrino. Around the wall to the near side. And out to center. Kamsu, Dominic Kamsu with it. Ahead to Jack Schultz. Schultz sends it on goal from behind the Pope blue line. Stopped and covered up by Anthony Pellegrino. And that brings about the first whistle after the first 24 seconds of the second. Draw is to the left of Pellegrino. Won by Pope. Cash Branyan. Near side at center. And given away, Jack Schultz, left wing side of the Pope zone. Puts it in the slot, but it's intercepted by Jack Davis, and he'll carry it out. Davis dumps it into the Brentwood zone. It's going to be an icing. Tried a bank pass to get Isaac Rice to chase after it, but Rice was stuck behind Schultz, and that brought about the icing. Davis was just behind the red line when he dumped it in. 13-13 left in the second. No goals on the board. Draw is going to be to the left of Anthony Pellegrino. One by Pope. Clay Roach. Out to center. Into the Brentwood zone on the right wing side. Leaves it on the right half wall for Carter Morrison, whose odd angle shot turned away by Pellegrino. Now Eric Kilberg puts it behind the net. It goes over to the near side. Roach. Pushed into the boards. Here's Jacob Sullivan. Puck smacked away. Now Carter Morrison moving along the goal line, putting it in front. Oh, Ty Essenmacher jumped in and tied up the stick of Jacob Sullivan before he could get his shot away. Now a 2-on-1 for Brentwood the other way. Aiden Bustizzi, left wing, a shot, score! Ty Essenmacher at the other end, tying up Jacob Sullivan and keeping him from getting a shot off, allowing him to free the puck and getting it to Bustizzi, and Bustizzi fires it into the back of the net from the left circle, and it's 1-0 Brentwood with 12:26 to go in the second. Here's Larson Smith at center. Puck knocked away from him. Owen Seeley will dump it back into the Pope zone. Puck coming around to the near side boards. Here's Dominic Kempsu sitting in towards the front of the net. Knocked away by Clay Roach. Oh, but then Kempsu got hit. Dropped his stick. Here's Isaac Rice at the other end, a shot gloved and held onto by Kachaturian. Kempsu got hit and dropped his stick. He's back in his skates and looking at the official like, why wasn't it a penalty? I didn't see him get hit. I just suddenly saw his stick fall and he was down in the right circle. .11:43 to go in the second. 1-0 Brentwood. Draws to the right of Kachaturian. Draw one by Pope. Carter Morrison almost gave it away at his own blue line. Had to send it to the right wing boards to keep it in the zone. But now here's Stevie Lipa in the Pope end on the left wing side. Puck knocked away by Nick Gentile. Luke Ohoffen shot, hit a body and went out. Sebi McClure at center. Backhanding it ahead, intercepted. Jacob Sullivan, left wing side of the Brentwood zone. Puck knocked away from him. Lipa. Pass it to Ohoffen. Ohoffen in the Pope zone. Leaves it for Barberite. Barberite right circle. A shot at the stick of Nick Gentile and went into the rafters. 11:08 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Brentwood. Draws to the right of Pellegrino. One by Brentwood. Puck out on the far side. And now Isaac Rice going to carry it out to center. Rice brings it into the Brentwood zone. Oh, puck got away from him right when he was wanting to move around Barberite. Here's Callahan Fielder. Tried to pass across it. Went off a Pope skate back to the far side. Cicerone drops it back. McClure will chase it back into his own zone. McClure sends it around the boards to the near side. Puck comes out up top, held in by Carter Morrison. Here is Rice putting it behind the net. Now Cash Branyan turns it over, puck on the far boards. Zane Cicerone clears. It trickles back into the Pope end where it's picked up and cleared out by Nick Hollis. Oh, but then it slides back inside the zone. Hollis sending it around the wall to the near side. It's out at center and dumped back into the Pope zone. Stretch pass to Cash Branyan to the Brentwood blue line. Brentwood in for an icing. 9:57 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Bruins. Shots on goal favoring Brentwood, 12-10. Draws to the right of Anthony Pellegrino. Won by Pope, but given away to Brentwood. Puck behind the net. Ty Essenmacher. Pope get a hold of it. Passed ahead off the stick of Eric Kilberg. Goes back into the Brentwood zone deep. I thought it hit Kilberg's stick. They still call an icing against Pope. Thought it hit the back of his blade. Well, he was still behind the red line too, so. Draws to the right of Pellegrino. Won by Pope, puck on the far side. Taken back by Brentwood and backhanded down. Another puck out in front! Oh, I thought it ended up in the back of the net. It went behind the net, actually. Puck comes out to the blue line, held in Seeley. Backhanded to the far side. Connor Allen is going to whip it around the boards to the near side. And Aiden Pustizzi gets it down low. And Pope are going to end up icing it again. No, it's waved off. It is waved off. Owen Seeley. Pass went off some Pope skates. He has to track it back down. Oh, but it's turned over. Eric Kilberg puts it out in front of. And then whiffing on it from right in front of the net was Jacob Sullivan. He must feel cursed tonight. That's 3 times he's had a glorious chance out in front. And 3 times he hasn't been able to score. Twice he whiffed on the puck. And then the other time he got tied up. Ty Essenmacher tied him up and forced the turnover that led to the Aiden Pustizzi goal. Puck hits the back of Lucas Bowman inside the Pope end. Branyan trying to get it to the front of the net. Here's a backhander. That was blocked. That was a backhanded try from Carter Morrison. Puck held in at the right point, Branyan. Branyan now below the goal line, trying to put it out in front, and it misses. Isaac Rice comes to the left point and shanked by Nick Gentile. Here's Lucas Bowman leading a 3-on-1 back into the Pope zone. A slap shot turned away by Pellegrino. Lipa now at the far boards. Pushed off the puck. Clay Roach ahead for Branyan. Branyan now left wing side of the Brentwood zone. Tried to toss it to the slot for Clay Roach, but he had to throw it over the stick of a back-checking Dominic Kamsu. Kamsu is not an easy guy to get around as Kamsu is able to clear the puck. Aiden Pustizzi at the inboards, trying to put it in front, hit the outside of the Pope net. Lipa trying to stuff it in. It's covered by Pellegrino. 7:21 to go in the second, still 1-0. Brentwood. Oh, did it go in? The officials are talking about it. No, it did not. Draw is going to be to Anthony Pellegrino's left. Puck comes out in front of the Pope net, but luckily for them, Larson Smith couldn't stretch out to get his stick on it. Puck back in the Pope end. Nick Pellegrino tracks it down. Sends it along the near kick plate. Olhoffen trying to get it to the front of the net. Here's Lipa. Passing up to the blue line. Dominic Kamsu holds it in. Takes a shot. That's gloved and held on to by Anthony Pellegrino. 6:47 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Brentwood. Draw was to the left of Pellegrino. Won by Pope. They get it around the boards. Down the near side it goes into the Brentwood end. Kamsu will track it down. Passed up the far side, but knocked down by Nick Hollis with a skate. And then he passed ahead towards the Brentwood blue line, and Larson Smith tried to send it the other way, and it hit Isaac Rice and went into the Pope bench. So they're going to drop the puck in the Brentwood zone to the right of Georgi Khachaturian. Draw one by Brentwood. Puck over on the near side. Kamsu passing ahead to Lipa. Lipa, left wing circle. Passes across. There's a shot, missed the net to the right of left of Pellegrino. That shot came from Kyle Barberite. Now here's Branyan out at center. Isaac Rice brings it into the Brentwood zone, moving to the left wing side. He stops in the left circle. Gets himself a shot. Stopped in all two by Khachaturian, and he put the rebound behind the net. Puck over on the near side. Lipa clears, although it went off a Pope player on its way out. Barberite, left wing side of the Pope zone, and it poked away. Here's Roach. Clay Roach backhanding it ahead to Rice. Rice knocked down at center by Dominic Kamsu. Here's Lipa. Back in the Pope zone, but Kamsu had backed in. Kamsu had backed in and triggers an offside. 5:35 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Brentwood. Draw's going to be on the dot across from the Brentwood bench at center, in front of the bleachers. Well, Pope won the draw, but it's taken by Brentwood. Sassaroni comes to the front of the Pope net, and two shots were stopped by Pellegrino, and the rebound try from out high, and McClure misses the net. They're banging away at it, knocked away by Pellegrino. It's still loose. Callahan fielder backhanding it up top. Pustizia shot. Bounced past the net. May have clipped the right leg pad of Pellegrino on its way by. And Pope will end up icing it. 5:04 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Brentwood, but Anthony Pellegrino had to be really good just then. Draw's going to be to Pellegrino's right. Pope win it. Here is Isaac Rice, left wing side of the Brentwood zone. Gets off a shot that goes off Khachaturian and over the net. Here's Cash Branyan, backhanding it out in front. And he gets away from Clay Roach. Branyan with it now on the left wing side. Put it in front, but whiffing on the deflection attempt was Rice. Roach putting it behind the net. Here is Sebi McClure. Sending it around to the near side. Going to be held in at the right point, Nick Pellegrino. Pass down the wall, behind the net, Branyan. Put out in front, Roach with a shot, stopped by Khachaturian. Puck comes up to the right point again, Pellegrino. Nick Pellegrino sending it back down the wall. Around to the far side. Here is Roach. Backhanding it down towards the left wing corner. Sent around to the near side by Sebi McClure. Puck bouncing across, and it's going to be cleared by Jack Schultz. But it's back in the Brentwood end. Up, Cash Branyan, and it poked away. Clearing attempt held in at the left point by Isaac Rice. Swept off his stick and out by Schultz. Pellegrino ahead for Roach. He tried to knock it back into the Brentwood zone. It's in there. Rice with it on the right wing side, backhanding it in front, and a shot turned away by Khachaturian from the bottom of the left circle. And Jack Davis. Now here's Lucas Bowman. Triple teams. He tried to go down the Pope slot. Jack Davis chasing the puck back into the Brentwood zone. Oh, he gets knocked into the boards by Sebi McClure. Puck comes out in front, and it's covered by Khachaturian. 3:16 left in the second, still 1-0 Brentwood. We're here on Chris and the Terry Crisp. It's now known that Terry Crisp Rink was christened the Terry Crisp Rink back in the summer as part of the thank you to him for his years of service to the hockey community in Nashville, being a TV color commentator for the Predators all those years. Puck out at center and offside called against Pope as it was sent back into the Brentwood zone. Draw one by Pope. They get it back in the Brentwood zone. But Ty Essemacher gets it away from Jacob Sullivan. It's still just inside the zone, though, at the left point. Sullivan now chasing it along the blue line, but Campsu clears. It's back in the Pope end. Passed ahead now to Carter Morrison at center, leading a 2-on-1 back in the Brentwood end. Morrison right of the defender. Oh, we get a whistle. And an offside, a late offside call against Pope. Oh, wow. A glorious chance for Pope snuffed out by that offside call. Draw's going to be on the dot right in front of the Pope bench. 2:40 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Brentwood. Puck in the Pope zone off the draw. Nick Gentile clears. Larson Smith up offside. Olhoffen was just over the blue line, and Eric Kilberg said something after the whistle. Oh, he's going to be called for tripping. Is that the first penalty of the game? Brentwood to the power play up 1-0 with 2:29 to go in the second. I think it's the first penalty of the game. Draws to the left of Anthony Pellegrino. Puck over on the near side boards in the Pope end. Held in at the left point. Here's Stevie Lipa. Lipa backhanding it in front. Oh, and both Larson Smith and Luke Olhoffen whiffed on it as it came their way. Puck cleared out by Isaac Rice. Campsu tracking it down inside the Brentwood zone. Passes ahead up the far side to Barbarite, who drops it back to Campsu. Campsu at center. Campsu, right wing side of the Pope zone, got double teamed to the puck, poked away. Barbarite keeps it in. Olhoffen, top of the right circle, trying to go back to Smith. That was knocked down by the stick of, or broken up by the stick of Branyan. Puck now behind the Pope net, fired around the wall, and out. Cleared out by Isaac Rice. Comes towards the net, the Brentwood net. Georgie Kachaturian has to play it. He'll leave it for Owen Seeley behind the net. Minute left in the power play for Brentwood. And Isaac Rice comes out in front of the puck. Oh, and he shoots it wide to the left of the net. And he's furious. Best chance of the game for Pope. And he missed the net. Here's Lipa at center. Rice strips him of the puck. Rice brings it back into the Brentwood zone on the right wing side. He's double teamed. 1 minute left of the period. Puck out in front. Oh, but it misses Cash Branyan. Under 30 seconds left of the power play now for Brentwood. Here's Olhoffen back in the Pope end. A shot and misses the net to the right of Pellegrino. Puck out on the far side. Nick Hollis passing ahead, and Pope are going to clear it. .30 seconds left in the second, and now penalty time against Pope is up. They're back at even strength as the puck is fired out of play on the far side by Hollis. 25.2 seconds to go in the second. Still 1-0 Brentwood. Draws on the dot in front of the Brentwood bench. And here's Jacob Sullivan down the slot to the Brentwood net. A shot, score! He finally gets one. He's been begging for one all game. Jacob Sullivan splits defenders, carries it down the slot, fires it into the back of the Brentwood net. It's 1-1 with 16.2 seconds to go in the second. Pope will win the draw. Jack Davis backhands it into the Brentwood zone. It's behind the net. Davis getting knocked down in the right wing corner, and that's going to be a penalty. It's going to be Jack Schultz going to the box. Interference. So Pope with a power play, their first of the game. Tied at 1 with 3.1 seconds to go in the second. Draw is to the left of Khachaturian. One by Pope. Branyan shot. Stopped by Khachaturian. And the rebound. Well, I think it was Kilberg who got off the shot in time, but time and run out. What a second period. Aiden Pustizzi getting Brentwood on the board first, but Jacob Sullivan, who's been looking for a goal all night, gets one with just 16 seconds left of the period. And Pope and Brentwood are tied at 1 at the end of 2 in this Preds Cup opening round showdown. Wonder when we'll get an update on Nolensville and Indy in the Hein Cup 2 versus 7 game. Shots on goal favoring Brentwood 18-14. So Pope will have a minute 57 of power play time when this third period begins. And again, remember, it's playoffs. No ties. If we're tied at the end of regulation, we go to a 5-minute 3-on-3 sudden death overtime. And if we're still tied after that, we go to a down shootout. Coming up next, it's the 3-6 matchup. Preds Cup opening round. Franklin BGA taking on Montgomery Bell. Georgie Khachaturian still in goal for Brentwood. Anthony Pellegrino still in goal for Pope. For this third period, Brentwood will carry the puck from my left to right, Pope from my right to left. Again, Pope starting this third period with a minute 57 seconds of power play time. They win the draw. And up. Cash Branyan ends up icing the puck from his own blue line. Draw's going to be to Pellegrino's left. One by Pope, but Kyle Barberite poked it away from Jacob Sullivan as he was trying to exit the zone. Puck's on the far side, Cash Branyan. Barberite pokes it away from him. Branyan a little too casual with it. Correction, that's Aiden Pustizzi. Barberite is out there, though. And Pope come up with a puck. Branyan and Pustizzi tied up with each other behind the play. Puck back in the Brentwood zone. Cam Sue pushing Isaac Rice away from it, but Kilberg comes out in front. Eric Kilberg in the slot. A shot off the glove of Khachaturian and over the net. Isaac Rice out in the right circle. Pushed down by Cam Sue. The shot from the right circle. And it's out of play, I think, or is it in the glove of Khachaturian? It came from Carter Morrison. It's in Khachaturian's glove. 50 seconds left of the power play. 12:52 to go in regulation. The game is tied at 1. Draw is going to be to Khachaturian's left. One by Pope. Comes to the slot. Oh, and Clay Roach whiffed on it, and it's cleared out by Luke Ohoffen. Anthony Pellegrino is going to leave it behind the net for Jack Davis. Puck over on the near boards. Larson Smith with it. Gets bumped off by Nick Pellegrino. Puck is behind the net. 20 seconds left of the power play for Pope. Stretch pass up the far side. Misses Clay Roach and ends up going into the Brentwood end. Nope, icing waved off. Dominic Kamsu with it. Went by Roach and Kamsu, and now Brentwood are going to clear it. Kamsu, left wing side of the Pope zone. Stops at the end boards. Passes out to center. Aiden Pustici. Across to Ohoffen, who sends it back into the Pope zone. Penalty time against Brentwood is up. They're back at even strength. Here's Nick Pellegrino inside his own zone. Dropping it behind the net. Jacob Sullivan carries it out. But he had the puck forced off him by Lipa. Now here's Luke Ohoffen, right wing side of the Pope end, shooting it past the net to the left of Pellegrino. Puck on the far boards. Jack Davis. Going to end up icing it. 11:13 to go in regulation, still 1-1. The Outlaws Station Camp game should be getting underway by now. Draws to the right of Pellegrino. One by Brentwood. Owen Seeley shot from out high, blocked. Carried to center by Cash Branyan. Passes to his left, and Isaac Rice trying to put it in front for Branyan. Shot stopped, and the backhander for the slot, and Roach was blocked by Callahan Fielder. Now here's Pustici. Back in the Pope zone on the left wing side. Trying to backhand it in front for Zane Cesaroni. Ooh, and Carter Morrison, I thought, was going to put it into his own net for a second. It's cleared up the far boards. Cash Branyan back in the Brentwood zone. In front of shot, score! Cash Branyan from near the left-hand side of the net. Slides it into the back of the net. And Pope have the lead. It's 2-1 with 10:39 left in regulation. Well, what a twist. Puck ends up in the Pope zone off the draw. Nick Hollis ahead for Eric Kilberg, but Dominic Kamsu with it. He'll carry it back into the Pope zone on the left wing side. A shot gloved and held onto by Anthony Pellegrino. Draw is going to be to Pellegrino's right. One by Pope. Puck banked off the near boards. Kyle Barberite trying to keep it in. Moving towards the slot. His shot blocked. Puck over on the far side. Barberite. Shot missed the net to the left of Pellegrino. Puck ends up out in the high slot. Barberite with it. Here's Jack Schultz's shot blocked, and the puck goes all the way back to center. Picked up by Kamsu. Kamsu, puck on the near side. And Jack Davis picks it up now, flips it through the air back into the Brentwood zone. He stepped right on the red line to make sure no icing would be called, but the puck went about halfway down the zone. Schultz with a shot now at the other end, gloved and held on to by Pellegrino. 9:38 left in regulation, 2-1 Pope. Draw is going to be to the left of Pellegrino. It's won by Brentwood. Larson Smith behind the net, trying to wrap around, stop, puck out in front. And it's cleared away. It's back in the Brentwood end. Olhoffen. And now the puck sent back into the Pope end, no icing. It's near the right wing corner. Larson Smith, Clay Roach, and Jack Davis all down low looking for it. Davis finds it, tries to clear, but it hit a seam in the right wing corner glass and came back to him. Isaac Rice carries it out. Now here's Cash Branyan making his way to the slot, a shot over the net. Oh boy. Here's Nick Gentile, shot in the left point. Turned away by Cacciatarian. I think it's underneath him. I think he went to kick it and ended up underneath him. Whistle blows, 8:39 left in regulation, still 2-1 Pope. To the right of Cacciatarian, won by Brentwood. It's out at center. Ty Essemacher tapping it ahead. Aiden Bustizzi, but it hopped over his stick. Puck still inside the Pope zone, and they get it out. Ty Essemacher at center. Taken back by Jacob Sullivan. It's back inside the Brentwood zone on the right wing side. Puck out on the far boards. Tapped away from Lucas Bowman. Now here's Essemacher. Puck back in the Pope end, but immediately cleared. Jacob Sullivan, left wing side of the Brentwood zone. Up, the puck goes just over the blue line and out. Nick Hollis with it now for Pope. And now here's Cash Branyan. Back in the Brentwood end of the right wing side with a shot off the stick of Cacciatarian. Now Jacob Sullivan puts it out in front. Isaac Rice knocked down in the slot by Lucas Bowman. Actually, I think it was knocked off balance. I don't think he went down. Puck still in the zone, but poked out. Rice drops it back to Gentile. Passing up the near side, Jacob Sullivan, left wing side of the Brentwood zone. Sullivan taken down. Here's Branyan, right circle, shot, score! Oh, did it go in or did it? Or did it hit the post to the right of Cacciatarian? I think it hit the post. I thought it went in for a second. It looked like it went. I think it hit the post. Cash Branyan was so close to making it 3-1. Draw to the left of Cacciatarian, won by Pope. Shot from Cash Branyan blocked. Backhands it up to the right point. One-timer from Carter Morrison goes past the net to the right of Cacciatarian. Puck cleared out by Brentwood. Carter Morrison with it. Gets it out. Dominic Kamsu at center. Flips it back in the Pope zone. It's immediately cleared. Branyan, right wing side of the Brentwood end. Taking a shot. Turned away by Cacciatarian. Here's Kamsu at center. Puck poked off his stick. Puck dumped back into the Pope zone. Nick Gentile gets in front of Cesaroni. Passes over to the far side. Puck carried out. Then Brentwood get it back at center. Here is Jack Schultz. Schultz dumps it back into the Pope zone. Cleared out. Barberite. Backhands it back into the Pope zone, but knocked down by Carter Morrison. He's waiting on a change. Oh, Stevie Leap almost stripped him of the puck. Morrison had to clear it out. He's waiting on a change, waiting for someone to pass to, but Stevie Leap tried to jump it and swipe the puck from him. Cross ice pass at center, intercepted by Jacob Sullivan. Puck sent back into the Brentwood zone. Puck is behind the net. Now out on the far boards, cleared out by Olhoffen. Lipa with it at center. Stevie Lipa. Pass across. Aiden Pustici, a shot over the net from the right wing side. Puck comes out to the left point. A shot blocked, cleared out. Now Pustici. Now Owen Seeley. Puck ended up back in the Pope zone and was cleared out by the Knights. No icing as it goes deep into the Brentwood end. Owen Seeley trying to send it up in the near boards, and icing waved off as it goes back deep in the Pope end. Lipa jumping on it. Around the back of the net. Comes out to the left wing. Tried to pass it out front for Larson Smith, and it poked away. And now Clay Roach is chasing it into the Brentwood zone. He gets to it on the right wing side. Pushed towards the boards by Clay Roach, but he gets loose. Drops it up to the right point, and Cash Branyan. Branyan sends it past the net. Here's Isaac Rice coming out in front. Puck knocked off his stick, held in Branyan, who backhands it down the wall to the inboards. Here's Aiden Pustici to center. Pustici into the Pope zone on the left wing side. Behind the net. Comes around to the right wing. Puts it out in front, went off the stick of Luke Olhoffen. Cash Branyan passing it up the boards and carried out to center. Isaac Rice into the Brentwood zone. Could not get around the back checking Barbarite, who passes to the near side, Cesaroni. Jack Schultz at center. Now Aiden Pustici. Now Kyle Barbarite. Back into the Pope zone on the right wing side. Moves around the defender. Centering pass. Oh, and it went off the stick of Cesaroni out in front. Cash Branyan he did clear. Trying to keep it alive was Callahan Fielder, so that killed off the icing. Puck ends up back in the Pope zone. Down the right wing boards it goes. And the puck ends up being cleared out of play from behind the net by Nick Gentile. 3:01 to go in regulation, still 2-1 Pope. Now you wonder when Brentwood will make that move. Draws to the left of Anthony Pellegrino. Won by Pope and cleared by Isaac Rice. Dominic Kamsu at center. Larson Smith passing to the far side. Barbarite sends it back deep into the Pope zone. It's behind the net. Nick Hollis sending it around to the near side. Cleared out by Isaac Rice. Caught up to its center by Barbarite. Actually in his own zone ahead for Kamsu. Had it poked away by Jacob Sullivan. He gets back to the puck, is to carry it back into his own zone. Now it's poked free. Jacob Sullivan left circle. Pounding the slot, a shot over the net from Rice. Top of the right circle. I think it went off a Brentwood stick on its way out into the netting above the glass. 2:22 to go, still 2-1. Pope, 2:22 left in regulation. Draw is going to be to the left of Khachaturian. Won by Brentwood. Puck is behind the net. Puck ends up in the Pope zone. Nick Gentile's going to end up clearing it out of play. Clears it into the Brentwood bench. So the puck's going to be dropped to the left of Pellegrino. Shots on goal are even at 20 apiece. Puck out on the far boards and cleared by Clayton Roach. He put it through the legs of Luke Olhoffen. The Brentwood net is empty, so the extra attacker is out there for Brentwood with under 2 minutes to go. Here's Stevie Lipa. Left wing side of the Pope zone, drops it back for Aiden Pustici. Pustici down the wall. Behind the net, puck put out in front, but it's going to be cleared by Pope. It dribbles past the Brentwood net for an icing. Minute 41 to go in regulation, 2-1 Pope. Pope 101 seconds away from a huge first round win. And timeout has been called by Brentwood. So, wow, what a big moment here. As we don't seem to have an update on the Nolensville Indy game. So if Pope hang on and win, they will play the Mount Juliet Rutherford winner a week from tonight at Centennial. Timeout done. Draw's going to be to Anthony Pellegrino's right. The Brentwood net is empty. And, well, they dropped the puck, but then there was a tie-up, and I don't think the official liked the way that the face-off takers moved, so they'll drop it again. Draw one by Brentwood, a shot turned away by Pellegrino. Oh, it's behind him in the crease, but he manages to cover it. Was Olhoffen off the draw with a shot. Draw's going to be to Pellegrino's right again. And now Pope are going to use their timeout. So both teams have used their timeout. 96 seconds left. It's 2-1 Pope. Coming up next, we'll have coverage of Franklin BGA taking on NBA. Pregame at 8:20 for an 8:25 face-off. But here, Brentwood trying to avoid being knocked into the losers bracket on night one. If they lose, they'll play Wednesday against the loser of Mount Juliet Rutherford. Mount Juliet Rutherford game should be getting going in about 15 minutes. Timeout done. 96 seconds left in regulation. 2-1 Pope. Draw is to the right of Anthony Pellegrino. Draw one by Pope. They try and clear. Held into the left point. Kamsu. Passed over to the left half wall. Aiden Bustici. Shot. Stopped by Pellegrino. Rebound cleared away, but still in the zone. Kamsu out high. A shot. Gloved and held onto by Anthony Pellegrino. Pope are only graduating one player this year. It's Brendan Kariba. He doesn't get a lot of playing time, so he's not an irreplaceable player. Draw to the right of Pellegrino. One by Pope, but given away to Brentwood inside the zone. Kyle Barberite shot blocked. Out high, Kamsu. Over to Pustici. Top of the left circle. His shot gloved and held on to by Pellegrino. 72 seconds left in regulation. Pope up 2-1. Draw to the right of Pellegrino again. Big tie for the puck off the draw. Two Pope players fell over each other. And Pope trying to get it out. It is cleared to center. Larson Smith will bring it back in. Last minute of regulation. No, it got poked away from him right to the Pope blue line. Kamsu now on the right wing boards. Trying to pass to the slot. That's broken up. Clearing attempt held in Barbarite. Pustici top of the left circle. His shot misses the net. Puck ends up over in the right wing corner. Jacob Sullivan pinning it up against the kick plate. Trying to kill some time. Olhoffen trying to put it in front. Comes over to the left circle. Lipa. 30 seconds left in regulation. Kamsu out high. A shot blocked. And the puck backhanded down the ice. It's going to roll in its edge past the Brentwood net for an icing. 23.6 seconds to go. 2-1 Pope. Trying to hang on. Draws to the right of Pellegrino. Draw one by Pope. They clear it out. Dominic Kamsu with it at center. Fires it back down the wall behind the net. Nick Gentile pinning it up against the kick plate in the right wing corner. Kamsu pokes it free. There's still a big tie-up for it. Time's going to run out and Pope have won it. Pope Prep-CPA-GCA have beaten Brentwood and knocked them into the loser's bracket on night one of the postseason. Anthony Pellegrino with 23 saves on 24 shots is the player of the game as Pope win 2-1. What a great victory for Justin Clark and the Knights. Cash Branyan with a winner early on in this third, and that held up in the end, and Pope win 2-1. Georgi Khachaturian made 18 saves on 20 shots. But wow, what a victory for Brentwood, or for Pope, excuse me, as they beat Brentwood 2-1. Wow. So Brentwood will play Wednesday night against the Mount Juliet Rutherford loser, while Pope will play the winner of that game next Monday night. A huge, huge win for Pope. The Brentwood goal, the lone Brentwood goal scored by Eden Pustici. The Sullivan Pope Prep scored by Jacob Sullivan, and Cash Branyan had the winner. 24 shot. Player of the game is Anthony Pellegrino with 23 saves on 24 shots. The freshman comes up big. And he still hasn't had his growth spurt yet. That kid's going to be real good when he gets taller. He's going to be even better. And folks, this is not an upset to me. I mean, they tied 3-3 in their first game, and Brentwood only won the second game because Pope had to use a pool goalie from the Outlaws. So this is not an upset to me, even though it's the 5 beating the 4. Wow. What a win for Pope. What a win for Pope. As they beat Brentwood, and they are getting applause leaving the ice. A tremendous performance by Pope. As they beat Brentwood 2-1. Wow. All right, so coming up in 15 minutes at 8:20, pregame for our final game in our triple-header this evening, Franklin BGA and Montgomery Bell, the 3-6 game in the opening round of the Predators Cup. But wow, what a tremendous game we just saw between Pope and Brentwood. A great game by Pope as they beat Brentwood 2-1. Cash Branyan with a game winner early in the third. Wow, just what a game. What a game. Pope deserve it. And Brentwood have to take the long road now to try and win what would be a record-breaking 7th Predators Cup. Again, the final score in this one, in the 4-5 game in the opening round of the 2023 Predators Cup, Pope Prep-CPA-GCA beat Brentwood 2-1. Pregame for Franklin BGA and Montgomery Bell coming up at 8:20.